Hello, and welcome back to Alice Talks Football, and welcome back to a live news Man United show. We've got lots and lots of updates coming in on the transfer news, and well, the transfer news is a little bit boring because it feels like nothing is going to happen until the manager situation is sorted, despite Ineos basically saying they want a head coach and they're going to do their own transfer work regardless. But Manchester United put offers on the table for two players and would be willing to purchase two players regardless of the manager situation. We're going to talk about who those two players are. But we've got some updates on the manager situation. We've got rumours, speculation galore at the moment. And I'm absolutely fed up. I'm absolutely done. Apparently there's going to be an announcement today. If there is not an announcement today, Ineos, what the F are you doing? You've been doing this review since January. It does not take 6 months to do a review on the manager when the performances haven't changed in the 6 months. The manager market has not changed in the 6 months. Ineos, make a decision. The thumbnail of this video is Ineos make a decision, because right now we're being told that Ten Hag is packing his bags because Ineos are in talks with other managers and he's going to be told he needs to go. Cool, we're being told that by the media. But let's tell us, Ineos. Tell us. I just feel like they're waiting until their next manager candidate is done deal, so then they can sack Ten Hag and announce the next manager candidate, bish, bash, bosh. I don't know what is taking so long. Ten Hag's been back from holiday 3 days. 3 days. He might as well not unpack his bag from holiday, is what they're saying, because what do you expect from an owner that sat 5 managers in 5 years at Nice? True. That's something we will talk about in a second, but I'm absolutely fed up. I'm absolutely fed up of this whole situation, and I want some new clarity on manager news. Guys, please do hit that like button. Of course, subscribe down below if you're new to Alice Talks Football and you want to get into all the latest Manchester United news today. We're going to start with the manager news up on my screen. We're then going to get into transfer news. We're then going to get into a few other stories going about. So, what's been said? What are the news? What are reports? So, it was said, friend of Omar Barada tweeted, then deleted it, that Ten Hag should be turning his phone off tomorrow. That is nothing. That is absolutely nothing. But we'll start with that first bit of the story. So loads of speculation and rumours came out, and everyone on Twitter was like, OMG, going crazy, because this one guy that's obviously worked with Omar Barada and is close to Omar Barada was saying things like, and he's obviously friends with Omar Barada, like, oh yeah, Ten Hag better turn off his phone tomorrow, he's going to be sacked, Ten Hag's going to go, is what people are basically getting from that. So that caused the meltdown on Twitter, which I think is completely pointless, because how do we know that that guy's going to actually know anything? Probably not, probably nothing. Like, let's be honest, someone just, having a bit of fun with Man United fans. Then, obviously, more reports came out today from reliable sources, including the likes of Romano, that yes, Ineos is still in talks with 3 or 4 other manager candidates. You have the Muppeteers saying that Tuchel is second choice as a manager candidate they want first, and you've got every single source that has access to Manchester United news brief and information saying that Ineos are looking to replace Ten Hag, but they're saying nothing is official. So you're telling me it's been nearly 2 weeks since we've won the FA Cup and they still haven't made an official decision on whether they're replacing Ten Hag, but they're having talks with other managers. I think if it's been 2 weeks, they're still having talks with other managers. I think they have made an official decision that he's leaving, but they don't want to announce their official decision that he's leaving until they actually get a replacement lined up. That's the way I see it as well. Interesting news on Pep Guardiola leaving Manchester City and Manchester City going down as cheats. We will dive into that later in the show as well, among many other stories as well. Alice, you think Ten Hag will be gone? I think Ten Hag will be gone, but I also think, well, at the end of the day, Ineos are not letting much be known. And I almost think, all the media is sort of writing that Ten Hag is gone, but we can't always trust the media. A lot of it could be speculation as well. The club is just retarding everything they do. It's just so frustrating, because you see like Chelsea closing on an Olise, that's a player that we were told was probably certain going to end up at Man United, because we can't get our act together on the manager situation. It's boring. I'm fed up with it. I'm over it. I just cannot be bothered with it anymore. I just want Man United to go and get the manager announcement done today. Ineos announce the manager decision, get that done, focus on transfers, because us Man United fans have had a crap season. Yeah, we've won the FA Cup at the end. You just get to work. I know that there's so much Ineos need to do. They need to change the club. But when you're thinking 11 days since we won the FA Cup final, they're starting to take the mick. I mean, the longer it goes on, I think the better it almost looks for Ten Hag, because if it's going on longer and longer, maybe that means they can't get the replacement sorted who they would want to replace Ten Hag with, and they may stick with him. That's the only thing I can think of. Now, there is a rumour going behind the scenes that Ineos are trying to make a move for Pep, but I can't see that happening. I can't see Pep coming to Man United, because it's been a bit of a mess as well. Alex said, tired of the secrecy, lack of communication, sadly seems more of the same under Ineos. Yeah, I'm fed up of it. I just want it to, just move on. Alice, another point is delay could be down to negotiating a new contract with Ten Hag, which dilutes the power over transfers, which he has his original contract. Maybe. I think if Ten Hag was in contract negotiations, we'd have been told that Ten Hag was in contract negotiations. We would have been told that Ineos have offered Ten Hag a new contract and that they're working on that, because we often get told that, Bruno's in the work of signing a new contract, Rashford's in the work of signing a new contract, and then a month later it's done. So I think that we'd get information that, there was talks going on at this point. At this point, though, even if Erik ten Hag is retained, the trust is surely gone. Yeah, I feel sorry for Erik ten Hag. I feel like he must have very little trust in Ineos in the situation. I think he doesn't know what's going on. He believes he should stay, which is fair enough. And yeah, I do have a bit of sympathy for Ten Hag, because he must be thinking, what is going on here? What are they going to do? What am I going to do? 100%. Like, imagine how horrible it must be for Ten Hag this whole time, not knowing if he's staying, not knowing if he's going, not knowing what the club is going to do with him. This whole time, he's just got to sit there and just wait and wait and wait and wait. Like his career, this is his career. Like, if he's sacked, then he might have to move back to the Netherlands. He may move elsewhere. He needs to get his next job sorted. It's not fair on anyone. It's not fair on the fans. It's not fair on Ten Hag. It's not fair on the players. As some of the reports of information coming out is actually saying that Bruno is incredibly unhappy about the situation, and that's where the Bruno leaving rumours are coming from. Because if Ten Hag is sacked, Bruno might leave, and he's just really fed up of the not having clarity on the manager situation, and that's why Bruno's agent is going around, because they don't know what's happening with the manager, which wouldn't be too surprising as well. Alice, why can't you look at it this way? Ineos are talking to other managers in the case Erik ten Hag decides he wants to leave with all the new restrictions put on him. Stop driving yourself mad. I mean, Glenn, that's a smart way of approaching it. That's a smart way of thinking about it. I mean, that could definitely be potential. I just feel like Ineos are looking at other managers because they want to sack Ten Hag. But you never know. There's always other ways you can look at it as well. All the transfer news is BS and trying to distract us from the manager situation. No player will be coming if they don't know who the manager is. Club leaking transfer news to distract. And we will get into that in a second as well. I mean, some of the transfer news I would take with a pinch of salt. I do think Tolibo's a deal that will be done. But yeah, some of the transfer news we need to take with a pinch of salt as well. As an employee of a company, this would be disgusting to me. It's just annoying as well. It's just so annoying. But let's actually get into what else is sort of being reported. So sources close to United are saying that basically leaking information that Ineos are going to announce Ten Hag exit tonight, but these sources are not credible. These sources are Twitter sources, these sources are speculation sources, all of that stuff. Now, it was obviously reported last night, this. Amid ongoing uncertainties, Erik ten Hag's tenure appears to be nearing its end. Sources indicate that Ineos is actively exploring alternative options this week, casting significant doubt on Ten Hag's future within the club. Insiders suggest the likelihood of his departure is high, prompting speculation he might already be preparing to pack his bags. An official announcement regarding his fate is expected within the week, fueling the anticipation surrounding this developing story. So basically, what's being said is that insiders around the club, this has come out from the Mail, I believe that Ten Hag is gone, believe that his departure is coming to an end, and there could be an announcement, maybe today, maybe this week, regarding his fate. But they're saying, prompting speculations, he might already be prepared to pack his bags. There's sort of news reports coming out basically saying, Ten Hag should probably just pack his bags. I mean, that's sad. That's bad. That's what the news is going on about. That's what the media is going on about. Ten Hag might as well pack his bags, because the assumption in the news and the media is that Ten Hag is gone and it's going to be announced this week. But how many times do the news and the media lie to us? How many times do the news and the media put out stories, Frankie de Jong, Man United getting Frankie de Jong, things are happening, and nothing happens so many times. The thing is, the media is all over this saying, Ten Hag's going to go, he might as well pack his bags, Ineos are going to announce it this week. The media told us last week, Ineos were going to announce the decision last week. The problem is, if we read the media and we look at all the information we know, it does feel like Ten Hag is going to go. It does feel like Ten Hag is going to be sat. But we generally can't trust the media. We can't trust the media because they've lied to us on countless occasions. We really can't trust the media. So it's this whole sort of ongoing situation where we're being told that Ten Hag's going to go and he's going to be sacked. We got told that they made a decision to sack Ten Hag before the FA Cup final. Apparently they made a decision before the FA Cup final, they're sacking Ten Hag. So surely within a week of the FA Cup final, they'd announced once it's died down a bit that Ten Hag's gone. It's been 11 days. They still haven't announced he's gone. So some sources saying they're making a U-turn. They want to keep Ten Hag now. So why are they talking to other managers these last 3 or 4 days? He was going to be sacked before the FA Cup final. It was a leak that he was going to be sacked before the FA Cup final. The first choice to replace him was not available, McKenna. Tuchel was the third choice. Apparently, they're working on some secret second choice manager who could be a very difficult deal to do, and they're not going to announce they're going to sack Ten Hag until they can get that manager that they want. This is what's being reported, but how do we know that this isn't all a load of BS? And that, as someone said, maybe Ineos are actually planning on keeping Ten Hag, but are laying out the new terms of his new deals in case he doesn't accept it. Maybe they're working on that. I don't know. But the guy was going to be sacked before the FA Cup final, and we knew that. I mean, even Laurie Whitwell said he got strong information before the FA Cup final that Ten Hag was going to be sacked, but he could not confirm that with the club. Obviously, the club are not going to confirm that until the club releases a statement confirming that. Obviously, but it felt like Ten Hag was going to be sacked. And then we won the FA Cup. The fans want Ten Hag to stay. The players want Ten Hag to stay, most of them. And maybe there was a shift towards Ten Hag staying. We thought, okay, maybe there's a shift towards Ten Hag staying, but then they're still having talks with other managers. We're still getting told, oh, they've not changed their mind. Ten Hag's going to go. Ten Hag's going to go. From the same media reports that have been saying Ten Hag's going to go. What's happening? What's going on? It's been 11 days. I'm fed up. Ineos better announce what they're doing, because every day it's causing a meltdown. Every day it's causing a fallout speculation, and I'm absolutely fed up of it. Absolutely fed up with it. Of course, I was disappointed with my performance this season, but I won the trophy for the second successive season for the first time since Ferguson's debut as well. Ten Hag, at the end of the day, he knows he could have done better. Ten Hag was, of course, disappointed, but he won 2 trophies in 2 years with a bang average squad with a massive injury crisis. And yes, the football was bad. Yes, the football was awful. But unless the replacement for Ten Hag is a really good option, don't sack him. Unless you are 99.999% sure that the guy you're replacing Ten Hag with fits your project perfectly and is going to be a big improvement on Ten Hag, don't sack him. I wouldn't sack Ten Hag to bring in De Zerbi, because I can't sit there with confidence and think that De Zerbi will do a better job with this Man United squad next season than Ten Hag. I can't. That's what Ineos have got to think about. That's what Ineos have got to take into account. I don't know if they will, but that's what they should be thinking about. That's what they should be taking about as well. Media might be clueless, or Ineos might be flip-flopping, but trying to keep everything secret. Do you know what would be mad? Is if this whole time, all these reliable reports are saying that Ten Hag's gone, Ten Hag's sacked, for the media, for the Ineos and the media just be like, yeah, we're keeping Ten Hag. We just wanted the media to think that he's being sacked because, just show you that you can't trust the media and the media is lying. To be fair, if I was Ineos, I'd be thinking, I'm fed up of the media. I'm fed up of all the speculation. I would just keep the manager and just shut up the speculation and say something about it, because we know Ineos were raging. We know it, but the day before the FA Cup final, when Chelsea sources leaked that they decided to sack Ten Hag, Ineos were fuming. Now, if Ineos were really fuming, they would have put out a statement saying that they're not going to sack the manager, but they didn't, because they can't put out a statement saying they're not going to sack the manager when they plan to sack the manager. But Ineos were reportedly fuming that their plan to sack Ten Hag was leaked before the FA Cup final. They had a plan to sack Ten Hag, it was leaked before the FA Cup final. Ineos were fuming. Ten Hag said during the FA Cup final, he's not been given any clarity about Ineos. They've not spoken to him about the rumours, so he's going to believe the rumours are untrue. But it was leaked before the FA Cup final that they were going to sack Ten Hag. Ineos were absolutely fuming. And if Ineos was so fuming, why didn't they come out and say, oh, we're not going to sack Ten Hag? Or why didn't they go to Ten Hag and say, don't believe those rumours? They didn't give Ten Hag any assurances, despite the night before the FA Cup final, he was basically being briefed that he was sacked. They didn't give him any assurances. And I think if they had known he was staying, they would have given him assurances. Maybe they've changed their mind because we won the FA Cup. They're going to surprise everyone with him staying. But sadly, I do think that Ten Hag's going to go. I do think that Ten Hag's going to be sacked. I don't want Ten Hag to go. I don't want Ten Hag to be sacked, but it feels like it's going that way as well. Ineos very indecisive. I think Ineos have made their decision. The thing is, what's annoyed me is it's been 11, 12 days since we won the FA Cup. There's no way Ineos haven't made a decision. I think Ineos have made a decision. I think Ineos know what they're going to do. I just think that Ineos haven't announced it, because that decision could be that he's gone, and that's a little bit controversial, so they want the FA Cup to die down, and they don't want to announce that he's gone until they know that they can get the manager they want to replace him lined up and that deal sorted. I don't believe that Ineos still hasn't made a decision. I believe that there's about 20 people right now within Manchester United that know exactly what they're going to do. They know what the exact plan is, and they have made a decision. Maybe the decision is that Ten Hag is staying. That would be nice. But I believe there's no way Ineos haven't come to a decision. Blanc, Brailsford, Wilcox, all of those inside the club, there's no way they haven't come to a decision. After 11, you've been doing a review since January. The manager market's not changed since January. The performances haven't really changed since January. Yeah, we won the FA Cup. That's 2 trophies in 2 years, and your first choice McKenna is gone. So maybe you lean towards him staying. But there's no way Ineos are sitting here saying, let's have a meeting tomorrow to make a final decision. Like, if Ineos had been talking all week about Ten Hag's future and they say, okay, we're going to have a meeting Wednesday to make a final decision, that's embarrassing. I think Ineos know what they're going to do. They're just delaying announcing it for, I don't know why, because it's not doing us any good delaying announcing it, because we need to get on with the transfer window, we need to work on deals. So it does no good delaying announcing it, unless, again, maybe they could be working on a 10-hour contract and they want to get that underway. Maybe, I don't know. I think they would announce, I don't know. I think we'd have media briefs coming out that they want to give Ten Hag a new contract. But I just think they're delaying it because he's gone and they want to make sure the next manager's lined up. That's what I think. That's what I think, because I just think it's been dragged on. It makes so little sense as well. United probably have 1 to 2 players that can break into City's team, yet some fans expect them to win the league. Madness, true. Look, we're not going to win the league with our current squad. I think had all our players stayed fit, we'd have beat Villa to top 4 this season. I think if we'd beaten Villa to top 4, 4th place, all our players stayed fit, and we won the FA Cup, I think Ineos would be in a very difficult position to sack Ten Hag. But because we finished 8th, our underlying numbers were of a team that was 14th in the league, and the football we played was bad, and we broke a record of the most amount of losses in a season. Of course, Ineos are looking at the possibility of sacking Ten Hag. The football wasn't good enough. Now, interestingly, Ten Hag said in his interview that Ineos told him that they want to work with him. He'd been planning transfers with Ineos. He'd been planning work with Ineos. This is all what Ten Hag was told in an interview. Ten Hag told in an interview, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything. Manchester United were working with Van Gaal. They were preparing transfers with Van Gaal. He won the FA Cup. They still backed Van Gaal. Ten Hag was working on transfers with Ineos. He was told by Ineos, but we're going to work with you. But that doesn't necessarily mean they will. Erik ten Hag has made it clear what signings he wants. Yeah, Erik ten Hag's made it clear to Ineos what signings he wants as well, which could be an interesting one to look at as well. Guys, please hit that like button. Of course, subscribe down below if you're new. I'm just scrolling through the live chat as well. Simply put it, Ten Hag's identification is terrible. Look, I don't want Ten Hag choosing who we buy, but I want Ten Hag to approve at least who we buy if he is the manager next season. Some of his signings have been questionable as well. Welcome to Chelsea, Sesko and Olise slapping season coming. There is news about Chelsea getting Sesko and Olise. Chelsea, I think their attitude is let's win the transfer market. We can't win games, so let's win the transfer market as well. I think that's what Chelsea do in the transfer market. They just want to buy everyone their rivals are trying to buy, so they can say they're still a force in the transfer market, but actually it's because you're going to double the wages and give them ridiculous wages and 8-year contracts, and you're just causing more problems for yourself. Chelsea trying to steal everybody's transfers. Next season will be long. I mean, this week just feels so long because we still got no clarity on the manager situation as well. Ineos have done Ten Hag dirty this situation. He rejected jobs for us. Ten Hag rejected the Bayern Munich job for us, apparently. Bayern Munich approached Ten Hag and Ten Hag said he didn't even want to talk. That was the commitment that Ten Hag showed, which is quite crazy. Could Pep happen? There is a rumour that Ineos are trying to work on a deal for Pep because of the relationships with Berardi coming in, but I highly doubt it. Now, I want to dive into some transfer news. I want to dive into some stories. We've got news on João Neves. We've got news on Sesko. We've got news on Olise. We've got news on some other transfers that I want to quickly dive into, and then I will get back to the chat. But it was said by Record Portugal yesterday that Manchester United have submitted a bid around 51 million for Benfica's João Neves, which has been rejected by the club. They want 85 million pounds, and that Arsenal are looking at João Neves more seriously than Man United said Ben Jacobs. Man United like João Neves. Man United would want João Neves, but Man United probably don't have the funds to bring João Neves in as high as he is appreciated. Have Man United put in a 51 million bid for João Neves? I don't believe Record Portugal. I think they want a few clicks. I think they're using Man United. I think they'll also be using Man United to draw Arsenal in to hurry up that deal and get a bit more money for João Neves. Man United definitely are interested in João Neves, and there's definitely a possibility of João Neves being a Man United player next season. But I think just the funds that it would take and the fact that we need a more tall physical DM and a proper Varane replacement, and among so much to do, that João Neves is looking a little bit less likely. Now, João Neves is a brilliant player. I'd want João Neves at Man United, but as someone mentioned earlier, Portuguese media saying we're making bids for João Neves. I don't personally believe that we've made an offer to sign João Neves because we don't even have the manager situation sorted. Portugal media use Man United for clicks, and I also think, well, they're just trying to distract us from the ongoing manager situation. So personally, myself, I think we haven't made a bid for João Neves, and what's the point of making a 50 million bid for João Neves when you know that's going to be, rejected as well. Guys, we're 6 likes away from 100 likes. We've got 450 people watching right now, so please do hit that like button if you have not already, and of course subscribe down below if you're new. We're going to go for 200 likes, so if half of you guys watching right now hit that like button, we can hit the 200 like target. We also got news on Benjamin Sesko coming in from Fabrizio Romano and Ben Jacobs yesterday. saying this: Manchester United, Chelsea and Arsenal have all put their projects on the table to Benjamin Sesko. Sesko now has to decide if he wants to leave RB Leipzig because they've offered him an important proposal. It was then said by Ben Jacobs that Man United are expected to be in the conversation for Sesko this summer. Arsenal, Chelsea and PSG are also in the race if Sesko decides to leave Leipzig. If I'm going to be honest, I don't think that Sesko will come to United because we've got Rasmus Højlund. He may come to United, we may get him, but I don't think we're in a position to spend £55 million on Benjamin Sesko when he's the exact same profile of Rasmus Højlund and we're not going to give him any service. We need a winger to give him service, so why don't we spend that £55 million on Olise so we can get some service to Højlund and then just get in a cheaper backup striker to Højlund? That's the way I see it. But it was said that Man United are in the race for Sesko. I think Sesko will choose between Arsenal and Chelsea. I think Arsenal is the better project for Sesko. Chelsea are probably going to offer him more money than anyone else and offer him everything that he wants. So Sesko will look at that, of course. If I'm Benjamin Sesko, I'd probably go to Arsenal. He'll probably end up at Chelsea because they'll offer him ridiculous money. But it's definitely one to watch. Man United are still in the race for Sesko. They've put an offer on the table. Apparently, they've put an offer on the table for João Neves. I don't believe that Man United have made an offer for João Neves, but we have made an offer for Benjamin Sesko. Man United like Benjamin Sesko. They're interested in Benjamin Sesko. They have made an offer for him, but I don't think it's going to happen because I don't think United are going to spend 60 million on a striker that is the same profile as Højlund, that's not going to get any service, that is the same age as Højlund. So we have two 20-year-old strikers running about. As much as we like Sesko, his release cost has gone up. I think if he was 40 million, United do it. Now he's going near 60 million. I don't think United do it. I'd rather us spend that 60 million on a right winger so we can actually give Højlund service. I'd rather spend that 60 million on Olise as well. Mohamed says that Tony and Girassi should be targets for the striker option. Experience superior hold-up play to Højlund. I agree. I do have question marks around Tony's attitude though. I mean, ideally I would like a Cunha or a Xerxes because they can get really involved in play and they're more Firmino-esque and they can facilitate the wingers. But I do think maybe more experienced could be better as well. The more experienced, the better as well. Benfica loves to mug clubs off in the transfer window for Brits Romano, that they won't sell him for less than 102 million. And they won't sell him at all because as good as João Neves is, he isn't worth 102 million. But when they got 105 million for Enzo Fernandez, because Chelsea are absolute idiots, they probably believe they can get crazy money as well. Man United are more likely to go for Olise than Sesko. I hope so. Like, for me, Olise makes a lot more sense than Sesko. It does. Like, Sesko is great, and yeah, we need a striker to help Højlund, but actually we can get like a cheap striker for 15 million, and if we actually get a winger, then bosh. Like, if we actually get a winger, then, you know, literally we can then help Højlund. There's no point getting a striker to give him absolutely no service as well. Tottenham are preparing an offer for Conor Gallagher, is interesting news coming in. I don't think Tottenham need Conor Gallagher, if I'm going to be honest. I don't. I think, 50 million Chelsea want. I think that's a bit of waste of money for Tottenham as well. Ineos. Oh no, that's fake news. I just read someone put breaking for Brits Romano, said that Ineos have decided to keep Tenar, but it was a parody account. It was an absolute parody account. So yeah. David Ornstein's provided an update on Olise, but I can't play that out loud because I'll get copyrighted, which is really annoying. So let's dive into the Olise news. Let's dive into the story on Olise as well. Yeah. I think Man United want Olise, but I think it depends on selling Sancho and Greenwood, basically. That's what the Olise situation depends on. So anyway, let's get into this story here. So let's get into the Olise news. It looks set to be a straight race between Manchester United and Chelsea for Michael Olise. Olise's heart says join United, but his head will look at a contract package long term and who's likely to get Champions League trophies and playtime. He also has history with Chelsea. Chelsea will meet with Michael Olise's representatives in the coming days with a view of proactively concluding a deal. Chelsea are taking aggressive measures to ensure they beat Man United to the signing of Olise. Despite holding Olise in high regards, right winger isn't very high on Man United's priority list. Ineos are focusing their efforts on a defensive midfield signing. Talks are underway with representatives of several potential signings. Now, what does this mean? Man United and Chelsea both want Olise. Man United haven't put Olise as a priority because DM and centre-back is a priority, and they know that they need to get Sancho or Greenwood off their books to go for Olise, but they do really want Olise. Chelsea know that if Man United come into the Olise race now, they can't beat Man United to Olise because Olise's preference is Man United. So Chelsea are really trying to aggressively and push to get the Olise deal done and over the line to fight off Manchester United, whereas Manchester United are saying, well, we're going to take our time because we need to sell this. The situation is, Olise is he going to go and rush into the Chelsea deal because they're going to give him ridiculous wages, or is he going to do an Amrabat hold off clubs and wait for Manchester United to sort themselves out and come for him later in the window. I think when Crystal Palace are in such a good situation and building such a good project going forward and look so good, if I'm Michael Olise, I'd say worst case scenario, if Man United don't come for me and I don't go to Chelsea, at least I stay at Crystal Palace who are building something good for another season, and then I can get an even better move next year. If I'm Elise, I would reject Chelsea and I'd hold it out for Man United because Man United's what he really wants. But Chelsea are going to come in with ridiculous offers. The fact that Chelsea are acting so aggressive on this is because Chelsea know the player would prefer Man United. You know, Chelsea are acting so aggressive to get the Elise deal done because it's an FU to Man United. Oh, this is who Man United want. We've got to show that we're still the big guns, even though we've had 2 bad seasons. Chelsea take the transfer window so seriously. It's a competition. It's about beating rivals. It's about sending a message to rivals. The Chelsea are really aggressively working and pushing on Elise, and they'll do anything to beat Man United to Elise, even though they just spent 50 million on Estabio, who's the exact same profile of player, even though they've got Cole Palmer and Madueke playing on the right-hand side and they don't need Elise. Chelsea are completely pushing for Elise. Chelsea already have right wingers. Elise wouldn't get much playing time. Well, he would because he's better than Madueke. We have Europa League. Chelsea have Conference League. Elise would be stupid to join Chelsea. That's the thing. We have Europa League. They have Conference League. We are Elise's dream club. We're the club Elise supports. Elise, don't rush in. Chelsea have got so many right wingers. Just wait for us to get the whole Sancho situation sorted. Just wait for us to get the whole Sancho situation sorted, the whole Griezmann situation sorted, and all of that as well. I do think PSG are in for Elise as well, but Elise wants to get back in the France squad. He wants to get into the France squad, and playing in France is his best bet of getting into the France squad, sadly, even though it's not a good league. But also do keep an eye on PSG. There's going to be a lot of top clubs interested in bringing in Elise, but hopefully he ends up at Manchester United. No guarantees, no certainties of that, but you know, I'd love Elise to be at Manchester United next season. I'd love to see Elise in a Man United shirt next season. I think that he's got to wait, he's got to be patient. He is a Man United fan. It is technically his dream move, but we have to see. I just think he'd be silly to go to Chelsea. Chelsea are, acting really aggressively. Chelsea are doing everything they can to get the Elise deal over the line, and Chelsea are doing that because they know that deep down Elise would prefer a move to United. But yeah, I mean, look, he would choose us, don't worry. He will choose it was said by reliable sources, Elise will choose Man United if he believes that Man United are going to go for him. United are seriously going to go for him later on in the window. Yeah, that's the thing. Amrabat could stay. There is news on Amrabat staying, actually. I'm going to get into that story, Steve. There is news on Amrabat staying, and I do want to get into that before we get into a quick update that's just come out on Ten Hag. So the stories are that United are interested in Yusuf Fofana. We know that good. DiMarzio said this. Amrabat is still waiting for a response from Man United about whether he'll be staying at the club. He'd like to stay in the Premier League. Amrabat's rejected a lot of top clubs for Manchester United. He'd like to stay at Manchester United. He's waiting for a response. That won't be sorted until the manager situation is sorted. Considering Amrabat was a Ten Hag signing and not a club signing, because the club wanted Fofana, Ten Hag wanted Amrabat. We got Amrabat because Ten Hag pushed for Amrabat, but the scouts didn't like Amrabat. If Ten Hag is gone, Amrabat isn't staying. If Ten Hag stays, I don't think Amrabat's staying because Ten Hag barely played Amrabat until the last couple of games. I only think we get Amrabat if we completely miss out on our midfield targets. And I still think we need another midfielder on top of Amrabat. I like Amrabat. I don't mind him coming in alongside Yusuf Fofana, but he can't be our only midfield signing because we had him last season and the midfield was a big issue despite him not being played in his best role and not necessarily being his fault. But Ten Hag did not utilise Amrabat. Ten Hag should have utilised Amrabat more. I think if Ten Hag had utilised Amrabat more, had not used Anthony as much, had his strongest squad available, I do think we'd have finished 4th last season and we'd be having a very different conversation about Ten Hag's future and the football that we're playing. It was said as well by Sport Bild that signs are pointing to Jadon Sancho not signing for Borussia Dortmund. A permanent transfer is too expensive. The only option is another loan. Dortmund will make a proposal to United. Dortmund know that Man United are really easy to mug off in the transfer window, so Dortmund are going to play broke. We can't afford Sancho, but they're going to go and spend 35 million on Mats and Bish Bash Boss because Chelsea, you can't mug off in the transfer window. At the end of the day, I think Dortmund are playing games. I think Sancho will go to Dortmund. I think it will be for a fee of about 35 million and we won't make much money on him. Man United are holding out for 50 million. Dortmund are playing games. I think a deal for around 35 million is agreed between Man United and Dortmund for Sancho. I think it's just all games. I think it's all games that they're playing at the moment. I think Dortmund want to just make sure they can get him on the cheap because United want 50 million. I think a deal will be done for about 25 million. Guys, we're on 154 likes. The goal is to hit 200 likes before the end of the live stream. We've got 500 people watching. So if just half of you hit that like button, we will hit our target. as well. Big up everybody in the chat. Big up Alice, glad to keep you live. Excellent content. Appreciate that as well. And we're back for fun. For combined 50 million is perfect. I think the depth, especially if Ericsson and of course Casemiro go, yes. I do think, I like the look of João Gomez as well, and of Wolves. I like the idea of him and Fofana as well. There's a few good players out there as well. People saying Olise's gone to Chelsea. Nothing's concrete, nothing's official. Chelsea are just really, really aggressively pushing for the Olise deal, desperate to get it over the line. And if Chelsea believed that Olise was going to pick them over Man United, they wouldn't be working this aggressively on the Olise deal. They're just doing everything they can to push Olise over the line as well. Ineos are going to keep Ten Hag, Alice. Just wait for it. They're going to surprise everybody. I don't think so as well. Some people are saying De Zerbi's having secret talks with United, according to sources, but those sources aren't particularly credible. So who knows as well. Someone said that Olise will go to PSG and everyone will be surprised. I just don't want him to go to Chelsea. Chelsea got so many right wingers. They're stockpiling talent. They just go for Olise because they know that other Premier League clubs want him. They've already brought in Estavio. I don't think Chelsea think. João Gomez will cost us 50 million alone. João Gomez is reportedly going to be 35 million, but if he is 50 million, I wouldn't go for him. Wolves do overprice their players. Wolves are very good at overpricing their players to see how much money they can get as well. If Manchester United tries to replace Ten Hag, Manchester United has to give Ten Hag a penalty. There's no coach who can cut Ten Hag and bring him back, even if he pays a penalty. What do you mean by that? If Man United sat Ten Hag, they will give him compensation. Is that what you're saying? Same old lies, nothing has changed. Basically, you're probably right. We're being told there's going to be an announcement today. We're being told that Ten Hag's going to be sacked, but we've been told that multiple times, and it's not true. It's frustrating. Every day we get told, okay, there's going to be an announcement on Ten Hag's future. There's going to be an announcement on Ten Hag's future. Ten Hag's going to go. Man United have made offers for 2 signings. Or have we actually made an offer for João Neves? Because it's coming from a Portuguese source, and no one else is confirming that. We get told the same old rumours and lies every day. Rumours, speculation about the manager. Same story day in, day out. Bored of it. Yeah, absolutely bored of it. Absolutely fed up of it. Ineos, come out and tell us what the F is going on, because I'm absolutely fed up of one story one day, another story the other day. It's been too long. It's been 11 days. We could be losing out on transfer targets. Surely you've made a decision, because you've been doing this manager review since January and not much has changed in the manager market. What are you doing? Unless you're working on some shock deal for Pep Guardiola or Zinedine Zidane and you're waiting for that to be done until you announce Ten Hag's future, the way you've gone about this is absolutely embarrassing. The lack of communication is absolutely embarrassing. It is causing meltdowns. It's causing speculation. It's causing too many media reports. We need clarity. We are fed up. It's been too long. It's not fair on the players. It's not fair on Ten Hag. It's not fair on the fans. It's annoying for us to get transfer targets in. Ineos, make a decision. That is the thumbnail today. Ineos, make a decision. That is what I've made the thumbnail today, because that is all I'm going to say. I'm fed up of news. I'm fed up of speculations. I'm fed up of stories. The thumbnail was Ineos make a decision, because Ineos make a decision. Make a decision. Make a decision, and make one now. Announce your decision. Do what you want to do. I'm fed up, but I'd like to know to stay as well. 21 likes away from 200 likes, guys. We're so close to the 200 like target, so please do smash that like button. João Gomez, very talented player. I like his passing ability, vision, confidence on the ball, but in my opinion, he needs to stay at Benfica 2 more years. You're talking of João Neves. Yeah, I think João Neves should have 1 more year at Benfica to develop, and Man United should go for him next year. João Gomez is the guy at Wolves. He's a very talented player as well. Alison, United could be a good watch next season. Depends what they do on transfers. Absolutely. Alice, in your opinion, who would you appoint as manager if Ten Hag has gone? Realistically, probably Tuchel. Unrealistically, like a Pep Guardiola. Yeah. People are saying it's probably going to be Pochettino. There is Pochettino and Tuchel are believed to be the 2 that Ineos rate the highest, and apparently there's a third name they rate really highly that's not being revealed in the media, which is definitely one to keep an eye on. But listen, people, I'm going to wrap up today's live show. I just want to keep it short. I just want to keep it sweet, because otherwise I'm just going to be ranting for another 10 minutes about the whole manager situation. Oh, make a decision, make a decision. I've been ranting way too much about the manager situation, so I am going to make this live show short and sweet. But transfers, Yusuf Fofana want to watch. Definitely, Human wants to watch, but we're not going to do anything until the manager situation's done. Lenny Euros wants to watch, but he'll probably go to Madrid. Todibo, Branthwaite, keep an eye on that. Sesko, keep an eye on that, but I think it's becoming more and more unlikely. João Neves, we like him, but I don't think it's going to happen. Manager decision this week, transfer movement next week. Keep an eye on Olise's situation. I'll be back live later. If we do get any breaking news, I will be live as well. Any updates coming on 10 Hog today, I'll be live right away. So make sure you subscribe with the post notification bell on if you want all the latest updates on 10 Hog's future. If we do get an announcement today, I will react to that. I will be live. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye.